Yes, hello and welcome back to DR Sports. We're in Qatar. Terra Firma, myself, AGT and Flex. We're outside the Al Sadd Stadium.
Yes.
Where the French team are training right now. Benzema and co right now in there.
Oh, he's getting his boots ready, he's getting warm. Man like Mbappe, you know what I'm saying? Won the last World Cup. Big on him now, he's a lot more polished. You know what I'm saying? Top player. I'm just excited to be here, man. And this is ahead of Qatar's first game as well, of the opening ceremony of the World Cup, which will be tomorrow against Ecuador.
Yeah, and we've been speaking to our friends here in Qatar, and they're very excited for the big game tomorrow. It's going to be such an occasion. When you think of how long ago this bid was made and how long they've waited to see their team in a World Cup, you can understand the excitement. And Ecuador, though, they're no mugs, Flex.
Yeah, exactly. And any host nation, obviously, they open up, you get the shocks or things where on paper you may feel like, oh, that team might not be as good as that team, etc. None of that matters. When you are the home nation, you've literally got the whole stadium rooting for you. It is there's away games and then there's away games. Yeah. Like for Ecuador, this will be an away game. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Everything against Ecuador, really, when you
100%.
think about who they're coming to play and whatnot. And it actually takes me back to World Cup 2010. South Africa hosted it and they beat Mexico 1-0 in the first game.
Exactly.
With that Shambhala goal.
Yes.
A great celebration to match as well. But listen, to actually be here and be a part of it now is something that we've been looking forward to for a very long time. But to actually be around the stadium where all this is going to kick off, it's just an amazing.
And one thing to note as well, I mean, a lot of teams, I think pretty much all the teams, have put their training back to 5 p.m. because right now I think it's probably about 5:30 now, 5:45, and it's so much cooler. Like right now, I mean, someone said to us earlier, don't get used to this. This is just, you just came on a good day. Tomorrow's gonna be quite hot, but it was actually quite breezy today. It was nice, but really cool at this time of night. And that's obviously why France are training there now. And you know, the England team did the same thing yesterday. So it will be interesting to see those nations who are used to this type of heat. Obviously Qatar, with it being here. Ecuador's obviously another one, but you know, the South American teams as well versus the European teams, and a lot of players who play in the Premier League who aren't used to those really hot temperatures. Because I know this is a Winter World Cup and this is Qatar's coolest time. Make no mistake, in the day, it's hot. Yeah, it's hot.
And we saw some pictures of the England players. They did have a day training session yesterday and they had the fan all over. They said, James Maddison said in his press conference that the English players should be used to this though, because they've all played abroad. They know the temperature of these kind of places. So whether that affects them remains to be seen.
But they're all match sharp as well. I mean, I know there's players in the squad that we're saying aren't, but you know what I'm saying about the players who will start the game.
They come straight from the Prem.
They're coming straight from the Prem, and you know, we always bark on about how the Prem is the most intensive league in the world, and it's so fast paced, it's so physical and stuff like that. And I was actually thinking about this, you know, like we're saying, oh, it's really difficult for players, you know, it's in the season, middle of the season. But actually, when you think about it, some of these players a lot of them aren't going to play 90 minutes every game. And actually, I think it might be a little less stressed than like when it's Premier League, then Europa, or Premier League, then Champions League, back to back every 3 or 4 days, tough physical games. Yes, the heat, I understand that, but there's pros and cons to both sides. It isn't just all one-sided where every player is going to really, really struggle. Actually, a lot of them are in great form, in a nice little rhythm. You know, last week we were literally playing against Fulham. Like, as Man United anyway, but I know obviously whoever you was playing against, these players were literally playing last week in Premier League games. It's like the following week you're playing another competitive game, then you're rolling straight back into the season. So yes, it is going to be a lot mentally and travelling and stuff, but this ain't a bad place to have like some downtime and, you know, some nice warm weather, you know, spas and swimming pools and, you know, recovery that you actually wouldn't get in England.
Yeah, no, for sure. And listen, a lot's been said about the World Cup fever before this, and we've been in Doha City Centre today. We've been to the International Broadcast Centre, the Media Accreditation Centre, and you can see, and we'll show you as well, of course, throughout the trip, but we've seen Mexico fans, Argentina fans. Everyone is here now, and it's just the temperature's rising, if you'll pardon the pun.
Yeah, 100%. You can see people coming in their colour. What's interesting to see as well is how kind of cultural is the wrong word. Patriotic.
Yes.
Patriotic, like a lot of the different nations are. So when you see the Americans, they're like decked out, like head to
we've
toe.
seen
Like
Mexicans with sombreros on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's stereotypes, but if they're wearing it,
100%. There was Libyan fans, obviously not in the World Cup, but Libyan fans were out here, you know, banging their drum, walking through the airport. Then you're coming into the centre of Doha, and you're starting to just get that feel. You're starting to see all the nations start trickling in, and between, you know, obviously tonight and tomorrow, which are obviously the lead up to the first game, you just know the vibes are going to be there.
And looking forward, I mean, we've been very lucky to receive tickets for every single group game. So the access, the things that we're going to see, and you mentioned it earlier, even if it is a Brazil versus Cameroon, we're still going to see the best Brazil team out there. And it is really a festival of football, and we're going to be with you at home the whole way from Qatar, and also everyone in the studio back home doing the watch-alongs as well.
100%. That's just, you know, testament to DR, to be honest, because we've literally got it covered, from whether you want to live stream and do watch-alongs and get involved with the guys at the studio, whether you want that kind of authentic, pure content directly from the horse's mouth, which is literally right here. If we get some behind-the-scenes stuff, you never know, we might get a little bit of that as well. But being at such a high volume of games, it's actually a massive task, you know. We're fully going to be knackered.
Yeah,
you do understand?
100%.
Like, going to a lot, like you do,
It's football.
yeah? Okay.
It's football, and we've seen a couple of famous faces already.
Yeah.
Mike Dean, the referee, we saw him in the broadcast centre getting his accreditation. I mean, we could well bump into some A-listers.
If he was going to interview Mike Dean, what would you say?
I'd probably talk about a decision he made at Anfield, probably against you.
Liverpool fans.
Or it might have been Old Trafford, the fact that he didn't give a penalty. But listen, he's just one of the names. Obviously, with all due respect to Mike Dean, there's going to be...
He's here as a supporter, probably, or maybe to do some media work, actually, because that's what I saw him, to be fair.
Well, if you're a referee, this is a great time for
What's Mike Dean's role now? Is he head of the
so.
VAR thing in the Premier League?
I've seen him on a couple of podcasts and stuff. He's good crack. He's got
look,
jokes.
Exactly, he's got a lot of banter, and to be fair, as an England fan, he's going to obviously be supporting the boys as well. I'm actually, do you know what? I know we've had poor form going into it. What was it? We lost the last 1 in 7.
1 in 7.
Because the last game was a draw, innit?
Yeah.
But before that was...
we lost 4-0 to Hungary as well.
Yeah, at home at Wolves, isn't it? Yeah, that was awful. But I am kind of looking forward to watching England play. I know there's the stereotypical thing, what we always say of how attacking is Southgate going to be? Probably not very. Yeah. Is he going to be, you know, pragmatic and set this team up X, Y, Z? But I just want to see what we look like, considering the form going into it as a national team isn't good. I'm just excited. I just want to see it, and because we're actually there. Do you know what I'm saying? Being able to see it. And when I deeped it, you know, when we was talking about the players that we're going to see on show, let's not forget about it. I know the things going on with Ronaldo at Man United, and this isn't about that. This is national team. This is Ronaldo and Messi at their last World Cups, you know. This is massive.
Chucking Suarez to that.
Do you know what I mean?
Maybe Cavani.
Cavani 100% be his last World Cup.
On their last dance.
What's his name? Muller?
Yeah.
Thiago Silva?
Yes.
You know, who else is there? Jordi Alba.
Yeah.
You know, there's a load of players there that are really. It may even be Neymar's one. I thought I heard him talking about that.
Yeah.
You know, Rafael Varane maybe. I don't know.
Rolls
if
Royce.
His knees can, you know, keep up. But honestly, like there's so many top players that are kind of coming to the back end of that generation.
Who are you looking forward to seeing the most? Forget England for a second.
As an individual team.
As an individual, I'm talking about. You give me a name and I'll give you a name after.
I'm going to say Neymar.
Okay.
I'm going to say Neymar in terms of, I've seen him play before when obviously we played against him at the club level, but just seeing what he's like at national team level in that Brazil side.
He's close to overtaking Pele, Flex, as the all-time
for
goal
numbers.
scorer.
That's what I'm saying, exactly. So I think he gets slept on in terms of, because I know people say he's at PSG, it's kind of easy for him. Oh, this, that and the other, he wins every year. Is he that guy? He's that guy. Like, he is.
In Brazil, he is.
And that's what I was going to say. To Brazilians, he's that guy. And this is what you judge it on. This is national level.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing him and Brazil is my first one.
I'm going to go with Virgil van Dijk. And I know that might seem boring, but this is his first ever World Cup.
This is his first World Cup?
Well, think about it. They didn't qualify in 2018.
Okay.
And 2014, I don't think he was picked.
So he weren't good enough then, back then?
Well, listen, he was he was probably at Southampton.
Right, you see, we had a discussion today,
big debate, yeah.
Big debate, and he obviously was putting slander on my guy Rafael Varane, who's been injured.
I said he was a very good player.
He said he was whack, is what he said. Right? And I was like, he was obviously Van Dijk's way better than him, like, in this present moment. I said, I'll give you that for form. And I'm like, but achievements-wise and like longevity of career, can't lace his boots. And then it just came to me.
Boots, that's a bit hard.
Can't lace his boots in terms of career-wise. Career-wise, he can't.
On your logic, we could say Luke Chadwick, Gerrard can't lace his boots because he's never won the Prem.
No,
So
that's
it can't always be about
one
trophies.
thing where Luke Chadwick was a bit part player. That's I'm not letting you say that. Cooking for
listen.
that was, come on, that's poor. That's
Right.
not like saying that.
Well, listen.
With context, yeah. And you were saying in the World Cup before then, he weren't even good enough to play when he was playing against who? Patrick and Thistle.
Patrick and Thistle.
Inverness,
Disrespect.
Caledonian and something.
Yeah. Well, listen, Flex is looking forward to seeing Neymar in the flesh.
Yes, I am.
I'm looking forward to seeing Van Dijk.
What about teams?
Do you know what? I've got a soft spot for Spain. Having lived there for a bit and speaking the language, I don't think their squad is the best that it could be. Having
there's still
left
that
out the
team, though,
likes
that
of
can just-
Thiago and etc. But
What's going on there?
he just does it, bro. He's only got like 40
That's
caps for Spain.
mad.
You know?
Yeah, it's
I don't
mad.
know what it is. Luis Enrique just doesn't seem to.
Yeah, he
to
hates
rate
the hair
it.
as well.
But listen, as a Liverpool fan, I'll take that. 'Cause it means he's rested up. Did you
Yeah.
also see that the president of the Spanish FA sent a message
Mad.
out to congratulate David De Gea on his retirement?
Mad.
I'd be like, retirement?
David
You
literally
cheeky
went,
man.
nah, mate, I'm still up for selection. Enrique, just don't pick me.
Yeah.
But again, as a Man United fan, fine. But I have to say this, Argentina.
Oh, listen.
You know, they've got great form going into this World Cup, haven't lost a game in so long. And they are up there as one of the favourites for this competition.
I would actually have them as my favourite, if I'm honest.
Would you?
Just
Yeah.
because there's so many.
Beat Brazil
you know
and
how
Copa America as well.
Football can write up scripts sometimes, right? And I just have this tiny feeling that there is a Messi script somewhere to be uncovered. Now,
Yeah.
again, let us know in the comments if you agree. Let us know who your favourites are. Let us know which players, teams that you're most looking forward to seeing as the atmosphere really starts ramping up here in Doha, where the World Cup 2022 is taking place. What a place to be right now.
100% it is, and I just want to get started now. Like, I just want to get
wanna
into the
kick a ball
first hit.
myself.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some
We've
people
seen,
playing
yeah,
football
exactly.
over there.
Exactly. What
So,
can we document that? Can we?
I think we might have to go over and
Yeah.
ask for a little two-touch. We've got a ball.
Exactly. As long as it's at this time of night. I ain't trying to play during the day.
No,
we saw what it was.
That would be silly.
We saw what it was.
But listen, AGT and Flex on the ground here in Doha. Don Robbie should be joining us very soon.
Yes,
Obviously,
big up.
We're hoping and praying that Laurie is okay
Sending
for
strength to
Robbie
Laurie
to
for sure.
come out. And we have had an update. He's a little bit better, so that's great news. Robbie looking at coming out ASAP. So listen, we're on the ground. Don't forget, everyone else is in the studio. We've got amazing guests, amazing presenters. Hopefully we see some amazing games. We'll be at them all.
And just lastly, actually, before you wrap up again, if you're out here, we've met some fans
Yes.
who, you know, you've seen some people who watching COP TV,
Yeah, man.
watching DR Sports, people who watch United View, etc., etc. A lot of escorts coming in now. I think a team bus might be coming in. I don't know if it's the French players actually
Yeah, that
behind
does
you,
look like a
Jason.
team
It is
bus.
definitely a team bus actually about
What-
to
what
enter
can
now.
we see
If
here?
you just pan round here, I think this is the French team arriving for
Yes,
training.
it's the French
here at the stadium. So Mbappe and co,
On that
Benzema will be on the bus.
Bonjour.
Champions League Varane,
I
Rolls
just
Royce
saw
Varane, that
Deschamps.
is the French team.
I just saw
Didier
Deschamps
Deschamps
at
is
the
at the
front.
front of the bus right here as they're pulling up for their. Yes, you can see the players inside. There's a big police escort. There's kids trying to run over and see them as well. They're pulling in down there. And this is what it's about.
Yeah.
Look at this. Yep, so that's the French team in. They are in there for training. Look, just pulling in down there. And that's what it's about. The superstars rolling in, man. And this is truly starting. This is starting now. This is it.
Right, as we said, it's starting. Tomorrow's the massive one, Qatar versus Ecuador. Stay right here on DR Sports. We've got it covered everywhere, on the ground, back in the studio. Like, comment and subscribe. We've got it all. Take care.